Welcome back to Cooking with Hannah Soul, and we are on day 23 of our 25 days of Cookmas, and today we're going to be making a caramel apple pecan cheesecake, so let's jump right in and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is grab our graham crackers and place them in our food processor. I used about 17 full crackers, and then we're going to bliss this for a little bit. Then we're going to go ahead and add in some sugar and melted butter and continue to bliss it until you get the consistency of sand. Once you've reached that sand-like consistency, we're going to go ahead and pour this over into our springform pan, and we're going to go ahead and press it down. Now we want to make sure we're not doing it too firmly where it's too snug, but we do want it in there nice and good. We're going to smooth it on out, and then we're going to bake it in the oven for 10 minutes and move on to our filling. Now for our cream cheese filling, we're going to be adding 3 packages of cream cheese and 1 8-ounce package of mascarpone cheese to our mixing bowl. And then we're going to begin to mix it, so we want to make sure it's nice and smooth and free of lumps. So in between mixing, go ahead and use your spatula or your spoon and mix it and push it down, and make sure you're giving it the same consistency throughout. While we're mixing, do your girl a favor, go hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so that you never miss a video. Once you got your filling nice and smooth, we can go ahead and move on to our other ingredients. We're going to start with some sugar, and of course, as always, all of the ingredients and the measurements are going to be listed below in the description box so that you guys can make this at home, because trust me, while it is a labor of love, this cheesecake is absolutely delicious. Once you got that mixed in and it's nice and smooth, go ahead and add in your sour cream and some vanilla extract and give it another mix. Next up, you're going to be adding in some flour. You're going to sprinkle it just a little bit at a time and mix in between. This helps to stabilize the filling, so you don't want to skip this step. Now this next ingredient is optional, but trust me, it does wonders for this recipe, and that is the juice of 1 orange. I've seen people use lemon, but this orange does something different for the flavor. Then we're going to start adding in our eggs. Now we're using 3 full eggs and 1 egg yolk. We're going to add it in one at a time and mix in between, and then you're going to mix until it is well combined and nice and smooth and velvety, and then we are ready to pour it over our crust, and we're going to be baking this in the oven for 65 to 75 minutes. I prefer to do the water bath by putting a hot pot of water underneath the rack that I'm going to put my cheesecake on, and this cooks it up just fine. Now that our cheesecake is in the oven, we can get started with our topping. We're going to take these Granny Smith apples and chop them into nice bite-sized pieces before we saute them up. Next up, we're going to be adding in 4 tablespoons of butter to our nonstick skillet, and we're going to let that butter completely melt before adding in our apples. And then once we do, we're going to toss them in the butter, make sure they're good and covered. And then all we need to finish this recipe is to add in some cinnamon, brown sugar, and vanilla extract, and then we're going to cook these until they're nice and soft. Now y'all, don't tell nobody, but because this recipe is already a labor of love, I was in no mood to make fresh caramel, so I did use some store-bought caramel sauce that I just poured over the top of my cheesecake, which I forgot to film. Oops, okay. Then I just topped it with those apples and then sprinkled some pecans on the side, and we are pretty much done. You're gonna put this in the refrigerator and let it set for at least a minimum of 6 hours, and then once it does, you got yourself some good eating, y'all. So I hope y'all enjoy, because as always, I did. All the links to my recipes, cookbooks, and even my new seasoning line is below in the description box. And until next time, bye y'all.